That is Martin Luther King Jr. saying that we should accept the finite disappointment but never lose the infinite hope. In other words, I mean, disappointments are temporal.
Yeah, they're temporal. They're just short term. But for hope, it's everlasting. You have to keep you have to be hopeful on a daily. And this is coming in from Dr. Mae Jemison, who was the first American astronaut. Yeah, it's a recent. I was talking to a friend, and I said, whoever was the first woman to break the whole notion of women shouldn't do this, must have taken courage. That must have taken courage. You know, surpassing all the culture norms. Being you the first woman to, probably the culture things, no eating chicken. So, what prompted that woman to really be like, you know what? What will happen to me? Yeah, that is what they say. Eve
like when they mention things that are about people that have transformed this world from, social, political, and economic side, there is this perspective of breaking the metrics, breaking the system when it comes to, because some of these systems are designed by a group of people with particular intentions. Well, maybe some are positive because because there are times, Marcy, there are things that might befall your way and you're not ready to contain them. For example, if somebody gave you $1 million today, you may die the next 3 days because probably, it's too much for you to comprehend. You can't believe that you're having all this amount of money. So it all comes back to how also systems are structured in a way that society is directed at a certain path. But on that path, there are secrets that are hid from you in terms of how life should be, because probably they know that if somebody got access to this is what it will do to them. But the challenge comes in that even when you mature as a person and you have obtained that degree of containing that knowledge, containing that substance, you are still hid from this. So it will now take an initiative from your side to explore yourself, because you feel like, I think I'm now ready for this, because you can know that now I can handle this challenge, I can handle this amount of money, I can now venture into this business, I can do this business now, I've graduated to that level. So it only becomes dangerous when you unbreak a false matrix that have been covering you, but you get access to truth that you can't contain yourself.
I agree with that. Well, we were talking about agriculture and all the likes. How we were brainwashed with coffee, and how Africans perceive taking coffee.
Exactly.
We are brainwashed. Coffee does this to your body, but then how come we're exporting coffee? Doesn't it have any harm to those that we export to?
It does, because actually recently coffee contributed to one of our most cash receipts for February. When you take a look at the report, we exported, there was an increase of about 29.5 compared to the export receipt for January. So we're exporting a lot of it to those countries.
A lot of it, yet we do not consume it ourselves because we were brainwashed from the start. The different
But probably it has health-related implications.
Has health-related implications, but then it doesn't hinder people from, taking. It's just like the cultural norms that we had in the days. If you take this
will happen to you.
This will happen.
Exactly.
But of course, Dr. Maya Jamsun once said that never be limited by other people's limited imaginations. There is also being there, and when you step out into your comfort, someone's like, okay, I didn't know she could do that.
Yeah, that is true. And you see, it's quite interesting that the reality is that the universe has a space for everyone to live their wildest dreams. The universe has space for everyone to be a billionaire. It's possible, because I understand there are all these perspectives of people saying that, if everyone is rich, then who will serve the rich? But yes, it's okay for all of us to be billionaires, and we're still living in the system. So that's quite a very powerful quote there in terms of limited imaginations, because take for instance how the plane was invented. Now we can go to as far as many kilometers above the earth. We can now access the moon. We can go to the distant planets. So it's all about imaginations that are unlimited from the inventors. Now, before we know it, we shall be able to cross from one galaxy to another. It's because the imagination, the human imagination is unlimited in terms of that. But of course, society zeroes down to what we can do, and it depicts what we can actually do, which is not really a reality, because even some of what is depicted is architectured from somewhere, and it's sold to us that this is the farthest you can go, but there is breaking that architecture, breaking that port, and you can see what is really out there to innovate. One of our quotes mentioned something to do with accountability, something which I find quite very interesting from the various perspective. It should go beyond just business, but also if we take a look at to what degree do we account for our lives as individuals.
Exactly.
Saying that, okay, I have to achieve this by this year, but you've given yourself a gestation period. For example, you say in the first 4 months of 2024, I need to have started a business. And then somebody 4 months have passed, but nothing is moving on, but you don't even feel accountable yourself to know that why.
I do agree with you, because fine, people make resolutions, resolution, and you're looking at it, and you have to go back and assess. That is why we have end of month. You go back, assess yourself, and look for a way forward. Until people are relentless, by the way. These billionaires that we see, they are relentless. Unless they accomplish something, they will not settle. They will not sleep.
They won't absolutely sleep.
When something does not go on, you're like, oh, God's plan. That's it. I think it wasn't meant to. Do something, research, ask around, like she said, you're not limited by what people's imagination.
Limited imaginations.
Go.
Don't be limited.
Go and explore. Be risky. Risk takers are the most billionaires that we're seeing now. Be a risk taker.
Take a risk.
Take a risk, but don't risk your life.
Absolutely, right. Sometimes, of course, risk might involve your life, but you're looking at the bigger picture, because you see, the thing that has distinguished the Western world from us is that they never count themselves, because they know that if this business I'm starting today is to exist for 20,000 years or 1,000 years, that means the vision that they see this business turn into, they have accepted it in their hearts that they are not going to be there. So even if sometimes they have to do things that involve to lose their lives, they will do it. But the only challenge here in Africa is that, you start up a business, you want to see it transform to this level, but you want to be there.
You've not involved other people.
Yeah, but you also want to, you think the way you're projecting your business, if you're saying that I'm starting my business,
you're always in the picture.
You're always in the picture. You have 1 million, okay, for example, you have 2 million Ugandan shillings, you started a business and you're projecting it to be worth $1 billion. But the funny thing is that you want to be there when the business is worth $1 billion. And before you know it, you start to make decisions, you start to rob, you start to not to be compliant, you don't pay taxes, you don't go for certification. What happens? Poor quality, you evade taxes. That means the country is losing potential revenue. Why? You're greedy, you want your business to be worth $1 billion when you're alive. Yet some of these may take 100 years. $1 billion is big. Yeah. Well, 17 minutes past 8, Smart Means Business, of course, discussing matters to do with the population census CAN 2024. And of course, what is making this a unique subject is the digitization bit of it. I think this is one of the ways that we're going to see digital inclusion to the maximum, because we are seeing quite a number of hundreds of thousands of jobs are quite available for those that are going to be participating in this phase. You know, we shall be having enumerators, quite a number of them. And this time around, since it's going to be digital, we anticipate that we shall have a little bit, at least close to accurate results, because with the mapping session that is happening lately, they are tracking the GPS, the global position system for all the locations, whereby if you're holding the tablet as an enumerator, you will be monitored. They will have a control center to ensure that to make sure that you've actually accomplished your task. So we expect massive efficiency, and the results that come out of it would be quite essential for policy formulation and restructuring where necessary, where need be.
So that means these people that are going to carry out the census need to be trained.
They need to be trained. You need to have IT knowledge, IT skills. May.
So they have 1 month of training.
1 month of training, getting to understand how the softwares. But you see, quite a lot of people have been employed. Imagine the people that have designed the system that is going to be the interface that is going to be displaying on the tabs. We are talking about millions of money.
This is what we've been telling them on a daily. Invest in good courses. You see, now people are going to get themselves some.
No, okay. Using the interface is one thing, but at least why wouldn't you be? Okay, it's one thing to use the interface. You'll make the money, yes, but it's more wealthier for you to be part of the person that has designed the system, which the enumerator will use. Yeah, that makes the difference. Because your absence, the enumerator is efficient because you had your input in this case. So these are jobs away from that, because I'm looking at even the time that it provided jobs before even 2024, for those that have been working to build up the systems all together. So this is what is going to be happening. Now, of course, when we take a look at the report here briefly, the Uganda Bureau of Statistics Executive Director, Dr. Chris, Ndatira Mukiza, said that the census will be held, that is in the night of 9th of May 2024. And he said that just like other countries, Uganda has decided to go digital, conducting the census, and he confirmed that the government will spend over 137 billion Ugandan shillings to purchase tablets that will be used in the enumeration.
Only tablets?
Yeah, only tablets. Yeah, and Hubo spent about 11 billion shillings in the last financial year for the preparations for the census. Now, it was allocated about 320 billion for this financial year, and it says it has a deficit of about 13 billion, which hopes can be given by the development partners. Yeah.
A census alone has,
there's a deficit of 13 billion. So that means of the amount of money they gave them, they had to spend. They needed more 13 billion. It wasn't enough for them to carry out the census. But of course, these are the costs that come with the digitization. Because remember,
by machines,
you need to have a maintenance in terms of the servers to keep this data. The internet has to be flexible, but of course, above all, maintaining that system, because there are times it can crash down and freeze a bit.
Remember with the national IDs, also
exactly. So that's a huge cost. More specific, this is IT infrastructure. We're talking about information technology infrastructure.
Well, of course, we are shifting from the analog days where people used to have paperwork, all the papers swinging around, but then now your data is in the system.
Yeah. It is in the system.
Yeah. You don't need paperwork. All you need is your national ID. And once you go, you're done. It's going to be a quick one.
A quick one. And you see, the fact that it's going to be in the digital perspective, when we have at least close to accurate results, they may not be 100% accurate, but at least if we can have about at least 70 to 70% accuracy of the population figures, it's going to be a great guide to investment decisions, and I see how if, because this data is always made public to show you the densely populated areas, the sparsely populated areas, and you
make graphs and,
graphs, you make all these decisions, and you know that, okay, what commodity can I invest here? What kind of people? Because here we shall go into the in-depth of understanding the income structures of the different individuals that are existing in the different regions of the country. So that would be a great guide to investment decisions. At least 70% accurate close, other than the physical. Because here, like I said, if you will be monitored on the tab that you've not reached this place, because the GPS has been all allocated in the various places where people exist. So at least there is not going to be much of redundancy in terms of some people. I believe that some of the enumerators were not diligent enough to execute their mandate, because they know no one is monitoring me. How do they know?
Because now it requires movement. It's not
requires
like
movement.
One position, people are going to come to you, go to the people.
To go to the people.
People are widespread, they're busy. So it's going to be a busy day than normal. So please, get yourself registered. That we know how we're going to find a means of surviving in Uganda. Looking at the income, the middle income, and of course you get the population divided with whatever you divide it with, and you get to know what status a country is in. But so far, if you go back to the grassroots, hey, people are like, where did they get statistics from? Did they come and inquire from us? Because you cannot, based on a few individuals, you cannot compare what I get from a billionaire. We are different. I'm getting 150,000 on daily. Someone is in billions.
Exactly.
The way few individuals do not weigh.
The way that it doesn't really weigh appropriate. Now, of course, as I've finalized with this report in relation to the census, seeing that apart from using the tablets and the other computer-assisted devices and application, of course, the UBOS is also using the geo-referenced mapping, and that so far close to 90% of the country has been mapped. Yes, so that is as we are preparing for this smooth exercise, to smoothen the exercise. Now these are the prior planning. Now even the mapping exercise itself, that's a cost that comes along, administrative costs that come along with that. Well, exactly, so the jobs are out there, people are really applying, and it's going to be quite a crucial. But of course, these are what we call these are short-term jobs that you can get and make you some income. But of course, that will depend on the schedule you have at your permanent place of work. Yeah, some people, you're not even supposed to get out of there for a second, so keep there. I know you need the money, but you need to be patient from that line. Well, we'll take a break for now. We are returning with the sports and entertainment. Stick around.
Smart 24, driving business.
Rachel, Rich. The Queen Cobra, the password of the money, the original no spare parts, the 11th commandment, the question and the answer.
Moses, I know you want money, but I'm also broke.
Ah, no. Money is not an object. These days, Mama sorts me out anytime. In fact, my sister, let me also sort you out.
Really?
I've just sent you instructions on how to get a loan on Momo. I'm here for you. Can I borrow some chips?
When you need a loan, you've got MTN Momo. We're so tingy. Use the Momo app or dial star 165 star 5 hash for all quick loans. Choose from the different loan options from our partners and get one that works for you. Together, we're unstoppable.
Cooking oil like no other makes your meal so sweet and scrumptious. The taste of Uganda, yeah, the taste of Uganda, the taste.
These holidays, you don't need to go far to find the best entertainment.
Have I got a surprise for you?
All you need to do is stay connected to DSTV.
I'm so excited.
Pick your moment of fun and share it with your family.
Oh, that's gorgeous, yeah.
Overpowering.
Pass the keeper! Jude Bellingham!
Pick the best stories and share them with your friends.
Max Verstappen wins!
Pick your moment to shine with the world's hottest stars.
Juventus get their goal! Alert!
Because it's your moment to hang out with the characters you love.
That's exactly what I do.
Whether you're at home or on the move, make it a holiday to remember.
This is the final round. Ain't gonna stop me now.
Because these holidays, it's your moment to enjoy the best entertainment. So get and stay connected to DSTV to enjoy every moment.
Whoa.
Smart 24, driving business.
Welcome to Sport Business, and of course Martha Katsime is my name, and of course still ongoing African all African games here in Africa, and of course that are happening, and of course we managed to scoop 7 gold medals in the in rugby. Well, of course, as for the case, Ghana that beat Zimbabwe, for Uganda to have one hand of the rugby's 7 gold medals, Zimbabwe had beaten Burkina Faso for Uganda to glitch it. Now, Burkina Faso beat Zimbabwe, beat Burkina Faso 19-0. To keep Uganda out of reach of the 6 competitors, even before Uganda faced Kenya in the final matches. And of course, nevertheless, Uganda went ahead to beat Kenya by 14 points. Yeah, that is in rugby. Right there, the latter scored fast before Dennis Etoile responded to level matters. Yes, well, of course, Filippo Korach then lit the final match on fire with a hat-trick of brilliant sole tries for Uganda to lead by 21-7. So you can imagine, out of our hard work, at least we have had away from swimming, away from football, at least we've had also gold medals coming in from the rugby team, and we really thank you for participating. Well, however, Uganda's loosened the noose around Kenya's neck in the closing moments, as Kenyans needed no second invitation to score a try. and snatched the bronze from Burkina Faso's Wasp. Yeah, and of course, according to Ghana's performance, which led us to our triumph and walking away with medals, looking from our first match with Zimbabwe. Well, quite a good performance, I must say. Uganda, when it comes to rugby, is really performing. We live alone in South Africa. South Africa is also big on rugby. Wow. So against Zimbabwe, Uganda managed to scoop 14 points, winning against Zimbabwe with 0 points. Then came in with Tunisia, where Uganda scored 50 points. 50, that was a top-notch smackdown right there. Yeah, 50 points to 0. If it was football, trust me. Oh, if I was such a team, I wouldn't get back. I wouldn't even qualify. I wouldn't be like, you know what. And then Uganda also managed to play with Burkina Faso, where it won by 24 points against the 14 points of Burkina Faso. And looking at different performances, you see Uganda is taking the lead. Yeah. And again, it was playing against Ghana, which Uganda won 22-5 points. And then second last, Uganda winning 56 points against Benin. Yeah, and of course, finally, the final one, Kenya coming in with 21 points against 14 points of Kenya. So kudos to the rugby team for playing ball, playing so and bringing back pride to our country, Uganda. And beautiful right there, adorning on the flags, black, yellow, red, of course, with our flag as a point of pride, you know, for their good performance. And all those that participated in the All African Games, yes. Thank you for participating. Thank you for scooping those awards. We are waiting for, you know, other opportunities where we shall actually be winning in every sport: boxing, swimming, football as well. So, looking at this, last year it was cricket. This year, rugby. And actually, even in cricket, Uganda is performing quite well. In netball, those are one of the sports that we need to really get in and look for finances so that we can push these kids. Because I know they work hard, but at the end of the day, is it even a profession? Can someone rely on rugby in Uganda? Can someone rely on netball in Uganda? How much is it for you to be a national player in Uganda? How much do you walk away with? Yeah, we want to reach that level where we invest heavily in football, yeah, or sports, because also it's one way of promoting tourism. Yeah, I mean, you've seen Rwanda doing it. You know, it has one of the most well-laid basketball indoor infrastructure. You know, so definitely we want to reach that point where we can also take pride and say, you know what, the cranes are going. There are no issues of we are coming late due to finances, because we've been disappointed. Last week, the boxers reached the day they were supposed to say. That is when they reached. Why? Finances. Yeah. What are the different federations not doing? Well, away from that, looking at Saudi Abdelhamid, who from Al Hilal triumphs to European transfer. Well, of course, here they reveal that Saud Abdelhamid, who plays as the right back for the Al Hilal club and the Saudi Arabia national team, received multiple professional offers from the European clubs in preparation for the upcoming summer season transfer period, which is coming in after June. After this January window is done, we're going to get into the next summer season, and of course a lot of the transfers. Yeah, people are looking into different players, you know, new talent, new energy, new vibrance. Yeah, for every season, every club is looking for a new entrant who can bring a change, depending on their performance, of course, as well. Well, of course, Saudi Ahmed has shown exceptional performance with his club in Al Hilal, which is in Saudi Arabia, where he won the 2022 Roshan Saudi League and the 2023 Kings Cup. In addition, to finishing second in the 2022 FIFA Cup World Cup. So you can imagine he also participated in 99 matches. 99 matches for Al Hilal across the competitions, scoring 3 goals and assisting 16, bringing his market value to 2.8 million euros. Some will be like, oh, 2.8 million euros? That's converted to Uganda. How much euros do you think? So for a person like him, really it could be a good opportunity for him to rise and join the European leagues, the big leagues that we are well versed with. Yeah, and of course we've seen some of them coming in from the European clubs to joining Saudi Arabian teams. Well, where is he? Which some are coming from Saudi Arabia, some are joining the European teams. Well, I guess it's a matter of strategizing at the end of the day. Yeah, but we're seeing the big dogs right there, Cristiano Ronaldo, rumors of Messi, Neymar, those big guys, yeah, right there, joining the Saudi Arabian Pro League. Well, away from that, the Al Ittihad targets top left backs for summer transfer boosts. Yeah, we're getting into the summer. We're in. It's too early, but it's good to book. It's good to have these names nominated earlier so that you can plan, you can strategize on who is really going to be the perfect player to be inclusive in the team. So it starts now. You were in March. By end of season, June, people will be transferring from team to team. Well, of course, here, Marcelo Gallardo, the technical director of Al Ittihad club, is looking to strengthen the left-back position by adding foreign players in the upcoming summer window. Well, the list of options for his reinforcement includes Theo Hernandez from Milan, Inter Milan, and we have Marcos Alonso from Barcelona. So that is his list. Yeah, that is his own list. So maybe the other clubs in Saudi Arabia that also have lists, like then there is Jose Luis Gaya from Valencia. Then we have Ben Chilwell from Chelsea, Leonardo also from Roma. And then we have Ferland Mendy from Real Madrid. And of course, finally, Federico Di Marco from Inter Milan. So this is Marcelo's list, on what he thinks could be an additive in his team, so that he could have good players to play football right there. And of course, Al Ittihad, like I said, we're looking at around 8 to 9 people, new entrants that may be joining this club. Well, all these players are recognized for higher capabilities, but Al Ittihad's focus seems to be on signing a younger player with excellent offensive qualities similar to Theo Hernandez and Federico Di Marco. Well, questions remain on how will Al Ittihad club will successfully close these deals, because if a taller player is young and probably it's going to be quite expensive, because we've seen people coming from different clubs trading the Saudi Arabian at a higher price, quite higher price. So if you're looking for young and vibrancy, get ready to dig deep into your pockets. So definitely that is what the world of sport today. So I guess this is it. Andrew is going to be taking us through what is happening in entertainment.
Well, the global music business records about 10.2% growth as 2023 report releasing that. Now, of course, the global music revenues were up by 10.2% last year. That is to about $28.6 billion, according to the figures released that is Thursday. But record firms, all the record companies, are concerned of how to maintain the growth in the streaming era. Now, the biggest artist in the world was Taylor Swift for 2023. Of course, according to the annual report by the International Federation of Phonographic Industry, which represents global record companies. Now, Swift was followed by closely two Korean bands, that is 17 and Stray Kids, reflecting the increasing spread of the K-pop. I mean, we're talking about Korean pop music. Now, this should paint a picture. You remember we had a report recently where I'm going to still have much more emphasis onto this report about how music in English is declining in terms of support. Taking a look at languages like Spanish taking the lead, Portuguese languages. Now we see the Korean pop artists are coming in here. So the report comes clearly out. Now, the biggest singles in the world were Flowers by Miley Cyrus, the only song to surpass 2 billion streams. Yes, that is about 2.7 billion, followed by Calm Down by Rema and Selena Gomez, that is about 1.89 billion streams, and Kill Bill by SZA, that is with about 1.8 billion streams. Well, now, of course, the music industry grew to the 19th consecutive year, and of course, thanks largely continued to the growing to the continued growth of streaming services, which now accounts for more than 2/3 of the global revenues. Now, of course, paid streaming subscriptions scored past 500 million for the first time, and of course, reaching about 667 million. In regards to that. Now, the figures in this year's report reflect a truly global and diverse industry, with the revenues growing to every market, every region, and across virtually recorded music format, said John Nolan, IFPI's chief financial officer. Yeah, so I mean, investing into the music industry come 2024 will likely definitely come with quite a few dynamics in there, a few challenges in terms of what is really necessary, what is needed, because the competition is really quite up there. But it should also give us the understanding that now the cultural diversity is also coming up there, because before we had only one language that was dominating, the only language was in supply in terms of that is English all the time, speaking English, singing in English. So that was a little bit I mean, as the world has been grown, we have gotten to realize, I mean, and the entire awakening, the colonial mindset shifting from the people. Now they're embracing other cultures. Africa is one of those countries that have come up on the map when it comes to sound. You know, I'll take for instance of Burna Boy, whereby every American artist would love to have them on their album if the album is to sell. You know, and also get to understand that even regardless of what language you're going to be singing in come 2024, you're still going to make money. Statistics are revealing that the uptake of music in English is now at 54%. Before you know it, it will be below 50%. But remember, it has been reducing from 67 to 62, you know, now coming to 54% uptake. Because a report released last year, artists that made about $10,000 on Spotify, a big chunk of them come from countries where English is not the first priority. So what does that really mean for you as an artist? You are in Uganda, regardless of what region. How best can you represent in terms of the cultural diversity? Because remember, like I told you, it's not about the science of delivery, but it's about the art of delivery. How do you deliver that? Now, of course, we see as we continue to get through this, the fastest growing regions were Sub-Saharan Africa, according to a report, in terms of music sales, of course, Uganda is part of the sub-Saharan Africa, with up over 24.7%, and Latin America coming in with the 19.4%. And of course, thanks to the spread of streaming and the rise of local artists like Burna Boy, Asake, J Balvin, and Bad Bunny that have contributed to the growth of 24.7%. I mean, discussing the sub-Saharan region for the music growth. Now, the biggest music markets, of course, we had the United States of America, Japan, and Britain that way. Now, we also have what we call the TikTok effect. The industry has several concerns however, particularly as young people spend increasing time on TikTok and games at the same time. Now, the worst ad-supported and short, that is a short clip video, platforms have no chance of leading to paid subscriptions and are becoming the primary consumption platforms for many young consumers. Said Dennis Cooker, that is of Sony Music, at press conference to launch the IFPI's project. Now, Universal Music Group recently yanked its music off the platform, that is a TikTok platform, in a feud over the app's approach to the artificial intelligence generated music and song royalties. In that perspective, yeah, so we are seeing the report has quite so many details in there, but just to show you how the streaming era is really dominating the game. And now this is also giving us a chance to be able to export your music to those countries. Unlike before, if you were in Africa, your song to really hit the United States, it wasn't really easy. But now when you put your song onto the Spotify lists, it can be intermingled with lists with big artists, and people will stumble on that song accidentally. And also we see that there is a rise of increasing streaming platforms. Africa, Europe, the United States of America, of course, giving artists quite a wide variety in terms of choice, choosing what is the best platform they would actually rather go for as compared to the other. So all these perspectives that explains why the music industry is actually performing the way it is performing. Well, 11 minutes to the top of the hour, and of course that brings us to the end of this particular discussion, sports and entertainment, but of course caution to the people that are aspiring to join the industry, to understand that it's going to be quite much more competitive come 2024. That, most especially if you're competing in a space that is losing popularity. If you say that you want to sing in English, get ready for the roller coaster, in other words. So sometimes it may need you to involve your financial resources. You might have to put in money here and there to make sure that you make your craft reach the desired audience that you would love it to reach. Well, we take a break, and of course smart means business proceeds.
Smart 24, driving business.